So timestamps exist in case you just want to skip forward, because this is going to be a longer video, even though it's going to be about the legend race, well, eventually, because I need to finish the training this gold chip. And to at least add the devil on my shoulder here, the aptitude raising, it's not like I'm doing anything amazing here. I'm just doing what you should be expected to do, or what a normal person would probably think of doing. By the way, where am I again? Oh, early senior year. I was just doing this because the reason why I wanted to go... Oh, never mind, we don't have a log. But... because I went from mobile to Steam here. So essentially, yes, we brought our gold chip to A Sprint. Now we just need to add the scenario mode. And if I don't survive the scenario mode for whatever reason, then I guess Future Jordan has to figure out what this video is going to be. There is a chance I don't win URA Championship somehow, which would be really strange. It would probably most likely be a stamina issue and a wits issue. Again, I've talked about wits randomization. Specifically, the quote is randomness per section. And again, I'm going to keep rewinding back to say this point. This is not anything like spectacular. In fact, you would be correct to say, hey Jordan, you just got really lucky. But as we fail no show spring here really quickly, I'm going to actually watch through the race. There's no point clocking if it's going to be really bad. That being said, we need to get past 10 no shows. I need to make it to the second summer to hope this legend race goes well. And yeah, a big part of this is probably going to be my guts and my stamina. And I think what could have happened is I didn't proc. I have one specific stamina perk, and it is the one that procs downhill, Go Home Specialist. The thing about that, though, is that most of gold races, if not almost all of them, have downhills anyway. So what I'm trying to figure out, for sure, as I accidentally do the wrong thing here, is, and the game loads in the background, is that, yeah, we should have enough stamina for this. If we don't, that would be really strange. Because, I say this because I've survived off, well, I have less than the amount I'm about to say, but I've had 350 stamina and 375, 350 to 375 stamina before. Now, in those specific instances, I had 2 rare stamina perks, so, I mean, that is a huge difference, but if I were to look at something here, I might as well, we're kind of just sitting here at the moment anyway, but I need to look at this race, basically. I'm pretty sure this race has at least 1 downhill. For some reason, I think it has 2, but let's do a double check. Again, this is your occasional disclaimer, not that it protects me from anything, where I'm looking for the exact race on the side here. Yeah, where I'm not saying this as a protection as like, oh, you know, I can say anything I want. No, it's literally just me. Yeah, this race does have a downhill, by the way. So we just are not proccing it. Hopefully it procs before the final leg of the race, but I guess we're going to find out. So, actually, have we even hit it yet? I don't think we've hit it. Well, I guess we'll find out. So, but yeah, that's not a protection against me saying whatever I want, because I will be wrong at times. Heck, I've been wrong at least more than a few times, at minimum. Because, again, I say things out loud just to at least get my own brain moving, and that's better than not at all. So, yeah, I can only do my best. That being said, for this specific run, I did sacrifice a lot of velocity increasing spills, essentially. And that's all I have to say at the moment. But yeah, aside from what's happening during the race, it's the final spurt that we really need to pay attention to, but I'm just trying to look for where Go Home Specialist proc. Unless it already procced and I wasn't paying attention. I was listening while I was looking up the racetrack. But yeah, you do run into the downhill twice, as I'm looking at. I'm looking at a very specific source that everyone probably, well, most trainers probably use. But yeah, if I didn't proc it at the first downhill, I'm going to proc it here when we go past it again. So let's find out if we do. And thankfully, yes, funny enough, because we hit before this downhill is an uphill anyway, the fact that we have a lot of power helps. That's something I may not have mentioned earlier before as Gold Chip navigates her way through the masses there. Oh goodness, please tell me we proc it. Otherwise, we could have just been blocked. But unless something really weird happens, yeah, because we're hitting the downhill, and actually, I think we got the... Well, no, I'm not going to say what I was going to say, because I might have been wrong. Let me actually take a look while I'm just looking at this. So... Yeah, so increases target speed, but we have really low wits, as you may have saw. But we should be okay here, unless we somehow kaput at the end. There are two spots. If I didn't mention it before either, I just want to say this at least to clear this as well. But yes, I did make... Well, I know for sure I made a misunderstanding on the final spurt stamina stuff. In particular... I may have implied, I'm not sure about this because I have to watch through my own videos again, but I may have implied that recovering stamina during the final spurt specifically, the last spurt specifically, has an effect. It doesn't at the moment, but the other side of that was, I think even just proccing stamina skills at the later part anyway. And yeah, we might have just gotten blocked there, but as we continue forward here, yeah, because we're already at the guts requirement for the legend race. It's the stamina that's a little low, but that'll be helped out with power. So what I need to pay attention to here, and I'm not planning to enter any more races. I did put in a lot of Tokyo. I did do Tokyo Yushin and Japan Cup during the classic year, but by the way, Masterful Gambit adds so much to your distance or your races for whatever reason. I don't know why, but anywho. I actually don't know why, because it does just as much as any other perk, but hey, I need to take Encloser Savvy. I could also take a Lone Wolf here. Is that better? Oh, we just need to take it once. Never mind, we'll take it then. There's a very high chance I'm Lone Wolf here. Now, for my team trials, that's going to be absolutely if we're looking at performance, but no one really cares about, well, I'm not going to say no one cares about team trials. I care less about team trials at the moment. I even sacrificed my class 5 retention for it. So now, again, not that it means that much, but you still want to place high. I think someone commented, again, correct me for sure, because this is something I can get wrong, because I completely forgot for some reason, but I'm pretty sure to unlock the other Uma Musume slots for your second Uma Musume or third Uma Musume in each team, you have to increase your class rank. And so basically by the time where you hit class 3, you should be able to put 15 Uma Musume in a race. Shrug. I also ran into a question at some point. It wasn't directed at me, but it was a curious question in which someone asked, hey, what's the... Oh, we need a rest here, by the way. We're only at good mood. That's going to hurt me, too. Just more in training. But yeah, someone asked us, like, what's the point of slotting another Uma Musume during team trials if I don't need to? You are literally losing points by not doing that. And yes, you can beat it. That doesn't mean you have a lower chance of winning or losing, because in team trials, if you didn't know, they match you around your level. I mean, most trainers know this already, but you want to add more because it increases your overall score. Even if you end up losing it, you can lose 5 times and somehow get close, if not retain your own class rank. We're gonna watch this as well. Is this long? I think this is 2,500 meters, right? So assuming I survive Tenno Show Spring, we should be able to survive Takarazuka Kinen here. Yeah. Tenno Show Spring is specifically even the 3,200 meter race, so if I can have enough stamina for that, I should have enough stamina for this, unless there's no downhill during Arima Kinen. But I feel like most medium races have a downhill regardless. I will check that up really quickly though, because I'm scared of being wrong. As I should be. Yeah, there's a downhill. I think you go past it twice, question mark? No. No, you don't. It's only near the end. There's an uphill immediately though, which... Yeah, so so the thing about uphills and downhills, so I'll just quote it directly here. When running uphill, an Uma Musume loses target speed equal to the slope variable times 200 divided by your Uma Musume's power. So basically, the more power you have, the faster you'll be on an uphill, as it turns out. I mean, that makes logical sense, but if you wanted a direct quote, that way I'm not just paraphrasing out of nowhere. I look directly at the race mechanics rather than the summarized guides, which I should actually read into. Those summarize the information for you, and they're not wrong. I just like to take it from this. I like asking why on top of the answers to why, if that makes any sense. But anywho. Yeah, and when you're on downhill, your wisdom is the primary and sole factor in determining whether or not you get bonuses, basically, which includes an increased speed and also increased target speed and your HP or stamina decrease, or HP, because that's the exact phrase. But if I say stamina here, just assume I also mean HP, unless I mean the stat. So, and then there's some RNG after that as well. But as we enter this final spurt, as long as we have the stamina, I shouldn't need to worry about proccing Go Home Specialist here, which I don't think we procced. So, here's hoping Gold Ship breaks out, and we should be okay. 800 power, we shouldn't have an issue breaking out quickly. And I think there's another wonky thing that happens in between, which is why you want higher power. And while some people say when you're blocked, having higher power is, well, the primary factor of avoiding being blocked for longer, essentially. At least I believe. And I believe this based on, again, if nothing else, the fact that you need to accelerate past someone. So once your Musume decides to pass someone, they also need to get their target speed. I could have actually taken Gate Kept there to try and proc to grab focus, but focus is going to help me less than the other skills that I don't have at the moment. Shrug. But yeah, now that we reached the summer, we should be relatively okay. So the actual biggest goal is to get 1200 speed and at least 1000 power. Only 1000 power to have more than Legend Race King Halo. Yeah, period. But otherwise, the other goal is also wits. So basically, my target here is about 300 wits, but optimally I would want more than that. Now we're gonna go wits so we can do full summer training, but the difference between 300 and 600 wits actually is a lot. But if you don't even hit the speed and power requirements anyway, those are by far the more important ones. Oh my sweet goodness. We can still, yeah, we can definitely hit, so we'll increase wits here instead. Just to guarantee, assuming we get URA champion, we will be able to get 300. We'll hit our stat caps, basically, are my stat goals for this. And to rewind back to the beginning again, yes, just use Sakura Bakshi no. Everyone Sakura Bakshi, 99.999% of trainers using, who want to win the Legend Race should just use Sakura Bakshi no. I'm shrugging in real life as right after saying that, but with my hands in the air and my arms at an angle, like there's nothing really much else to say. But otherwise, if you're doing something weird like me, which I would not recommend anyone doing unless you have the resources and the average luck to do so, you need minimum average luck. Yeah, I'm trying to force gold chip here. Now again, we have a sprint, so by this time we are already at a good place. Like, for those who really don't know about aptitudes for whatever reason, ooh, beeline burst would be great. Would be really great here. But again, now I need the skill points to make it matter. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah. Also note that, yes, I did level my SR Narita Taishin for the sake of extra end closer skills, but I didn't think I was going to get Beeline Burst on top of these other goodies, so yeah, although Beeline Burst is probably the go-to pick here. After this, I need to take end closer Savvy so I can free up, I think Hishi Amazon is the one who's giving me that. And Hishi Amazon has a bunch of good end closer. Basically, Narita Taishin and Hishi Amazon give you a lot of end closer related skills, at least at the current point in time. That being said, I really just want to rest here instead, but I'm going to take the speed power. We have enough speed power to survive. It's just, we have more than enough to dominate most of the time. It's the my question is the stamina guts, which as long as we proc go home specialist most of the time, we should be fine. If no other reason, we'll see, because it's one of two things. Either I run out of stamina because I miscalculated, although I'm pretty sure we can survive everything until URA Finals for sure, or we get blocked. A lot. You would have to get blocked so much that your high power stat doesn't do anything for you. And on that note, we can move on to the topic of navigational skills. So the thing about King Halo Legend Race is that while you're hoping her to be blocked, she's not very less likely, because obviously people, like, even in my Legend races so far, you saw that she got blocked during my Silent Suzuka run, but even then, Silent Suzuka was so far forward that she wouldn't, like, again, when you build any sprint front runner, they are very, 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 very likely to win against pretty much any of the Legend racers, I think, if I remember all of them at the top of my head, but definitely King Halo. And King Halo has the added difficulty of, well, one, late surgers are relatively weaker, as I get a late start here, but yeah, you get blocked and you have to fight your way up forward, which is the primary factor of them losing. But on the flip side of that, late surgers have the pressed advantage of faster acceleration and higher target speeds at the final parts of the race. Shrug, that's all I have to say. But they, oh yeah, rewinding back to navigational skills. So I think she has like 2 to 3 navigational skills, although they're all normal. I feel like one of them was, and I need to check now. But no, I can't check right now. Never mind. But she basically has a bunch, and I think I saw. I can't confirm this, but I saw something along the lines of. This is from a Japanese video, or 2 videos really, where navigational skills have a bigger effect as you turn if they proc while turning a corner, and the reasoning behind that is that when they turn a corner, you can so think about basically a certain snake that's solid, and when you're looking on the map and you see the conal viewpoints, that's essentially how Uma Musume's vision, and that's what the navigational field of view directly affects. So it affects that cone that Uma Musume have, and actually just vision in real life. Please break out. I would like you to break out here. It looks like she is, so I don't have to worry. Yeah, she's on the outside. We should be perfectly fine here. But as she zooms past, 900 power to 1000 speed, by the way. But yeah, King Halo having that means she's less likely to be blocked. But that doesn't. Their navigational skills are still. They're still relatively not good, and the reason for that is that you still have to deal with the question of, okay, does your Uma Musume have the stats or skills to break out, as well as that during the 3-second-ish duration. I say up to 5 seconds because the race length determines duration of your skills, if you didn't know that, but has an effect on the duration of your skills. But there's this 3 to 5 second window, we'll assume it's even 5 seconds long, where your Uma Musume needs to have the ability to break out. Now, a big part of that, which I think has a bigger factor for the effect of navigational skills, is that at least when they proc, if your Uma Musume finds a way, she can at least start acting. But the act of actually overtaking a target is the other big reason why navigational skills kind of just basically to explain. I could do Japan Cup here, but I'm scared, so unless I want to set this goal, but no, I'm just too scared, so we're just gonna train stats for the rest of this. I could just lose an Arima Kinen here, just outright somehow, but with the stamina requirements that I just went over, we shouldn't need to worry about that. We're gonna take power, by the way, or is this stamina? Either way, it's okay. And again, if I had my way, I would want 400 stamina, but it's fine either way. If we don't hit 1200 speed here, we don't take any green speed skills. There's less value. It's still valuable. It's just there's just less value. Again, for those who don't know, I'm pretty sure this is correct. I'm 98% sure this is correct. But green stills go on top of your stat caps. So what I mean by that, usually this gives me, yeah, we're just gonna take this actually. I should take the energy, but this gives you a skin. No, no, it doesn't. I went crazy. Never. Pain. Oh my goodness. Do I just rest here? I think I'm just going to rest here. I'm gonna rest here. And if you get sleep deprived into a mood decrease and stamina status effect, sadness. Okay, good. But yeah, navigational skills, you're waiting for all the stars to align, because you also, especially if you're also waiting on a skill on top of a navigational skill use, but yeah, that's a different question. So, firm conditions would be nice, because that's what the Legend Race is going to be. Otherwise, if you don't have anything else yet, I need to take Plan X. Plan X should, I think it does proc for Gold Ship. Even though the thing doesn't look right. Yeah, and it's not like I really have anything else aside from Encloser Savvy, actually. That's the more important one. But we do want Plan X at some point. Let me check, actually. I'm pretty sure it procs. I'm pretty sure Plan X procs. And by that, I mean it also has an effect. But let me just make sure. So if I do this... I mean, I'm already looking at something. And then if I do this... Yeah, Plan X does have an effect. So, as to be expected, but... anywho. So into this Arima Kinen we go. If we somehow max clock and lose out here, we're gonna lose a lot of stats. The extra 100, essentially 100 speed, 100 power, if I complete URA here, will make a huge difference. So off we go. But yeah, minimum 950 power, because end closers will have a certain acceleration advantage at the end. However, late surgers do have another... I forgot if it's acceleration or max target speed at some point during either the final leg or the final spurt. But that's more tech... I mean, I might as well. We're not really looking at much here as Gold Ship gets another late start. But yeah, we'll see. We'll do our best. I'm pretty sure there are no end closers in this Legend Race so far. So if there is, rip Lone Wolf. But Lone Wolf is usually a good pick for non-PvP or races where you don't think any gold ships will be in, aside from a generic, which will take end closer, but that's, again, that's something else to think about entirely. So, as we sit here, I'm sure it's Masterful Gambit. I think it's Masterful Gambit. I'm going crazy. Anywho, what I was mentioning earlier was the topic of Masterful Gambit and its actually huge effect on end closers, and I don't know why that specifically happens, but anywho. We can take a look. I think we can take a look at skills here. Yeah, so what do we have? Masterful Gambit, End Closer Savvy, and Lone Wolf. And then Beeline Burst as well, which, again, is very RNG. This is a good RNG run, basically. I finally got my good RNG run on day 3 of King Halo Legend Race, but whether or not I win, I think it's still, like, up in the air. I have a much higher chance. So just to put this in perspective, if I only had B-Sprint Aptitude and was missing Beeline Burst on top of Lone Wolf and End Closer Savvy, we have about a 5 to 10% chance of winning, and that's not including getting blocked. Like, that's just straight up. If we were to race King Halo 1-on-1, 5 to 10% of the time, we would win at max. Like, it's really bad. But now that we have A-Sprint Aptitude, that's the biggest factor. And in fact, it's pretty much 50-50. But again, we could just get blocked, so I'm essentially flipping 2 to 3 coins and trying to call them right 2 to 3 times in a row. So as we go to our first max target speed, the final spurt, we're gonna spurt even more, and we should just win, unless we somehow run out of energy at the end, which would be really strange, because if that was the case. So the other part of that is that, yes, if you don't have enough HP, what specifically happens, I'm not gonna say what, because again, I saw conflicting information, and I'm sure one of them takes priority, because the one that takes priority is if you run out of HP during the end, your speed just drops, and you'll see this with any good guide or simulator or so on and so forth, or calculation. But the other part of that is, so Wits plays a big factor in your final spurt speed if something goes wonky with your HP. By that I mean, so your Musume decides how fast she wants to go, to paraphrase. And that, in particular, so what happens, to paraphrase, is that your Musume, when she reaches the final spurt, specifically, she gauges the amount of stamina she has left and goes, okay, if I have enough stamina, I'm going to start trying to go as fast as I know that I can. But if I don't have enough stamina, then I'm going to decide how fast I can go. And if I can't go this fast, I'll keep compromising, basically, is what your Musume will do. And by that I mean she'll lower the speed that she has in mind to go, that she wants to reach, until she hits her minimum speed, pretty much, for what she's deciding. To say it in another way, she has 2 degrees of speed, a max speed, and a minimum speed that she knows she can hit, but she's making this decision on the point. So she goes, I can't go 28 meters per second. I'm gonna try going 7.9 meters per second, so on and so forth, like that, until she makes a decision and then goes for it. And this is after she realized she doesn't have enough stamina, and then she decides on, okay, I have enough stamina and I'm going to make my final spurt here. That's essentially what's happening. I could go over the specifics here, but just know that I am paraphrasing from the Mechanics of a Race document. So, and then yeah, to say that, so to translate that even more specifically, her wit stat is a big determinator of her decision-making process. So whether or not she says yes to a speed below her maximum speed, if she doesn't have enough HP, is based on wits. Now, it's not going to be the biggest change, but if you have, say, an extra 300 wits, it's a big change, because she's making these decisions in a vacuum. She's checking at least 30 to 60 times, and so each one of these times is based off of her wit stat, essentially. On top of the fact that on downhills, wits is also used as a determinator, and then as I mentioned before, even as we're racing, like Gold Chip is racing here, she's using her wits to determine a randomness of her speed going faster and her going slower. And in specific, the lower your wits is, the slower she could randomly go during 66% of the race. And to also note, your speed stat makes the biggest is the primary factor, and doesn't have as much of an effect at the beginning of the race, if at all, but at the last third of the race, essentially, it's the biggest factor, because otherwise you don't hit your max speed. So, anywho. So yeah, as we reach the final parts of the race here, we should see Gold Chip speeding up unless she runs right into Silent Suzuka or Grass Wonder here. But if she has a clean way forward, as she's doing right now, she'll start speeding up, and as she reaches the final part here, she'll go even faster, essentially. As you're seeing right here. And yeah, it does feel good when you can call out things specifically, but yeah. Also to note, there were some trainers who ran into the funny thing that I think I've mentioned before, but we'll say it here just to say it again. But basically, the faster your Musume goes, the more stamina she loses. But the trade-off there is that you're supposed to have the stats to not compensate, but to make up for the fact that, yeah, since she's going faster, you should have enough stamina or guts, in this case, in the case of a final spurt, to maintain this. We're going to skip the semi-qualifiers here. I don't even know why I watched the qualifiers. Basically, if we survive the qualifiers, we should survive the semi-qualifiers. And to that extent, the finale, the finals as well, but we'll watch the finals just to be sure. Please be speed. Okay, good. So yeah, with this we should smash King Halo out of the park. Although it's 50. Actually, this is 50-50. If my wits were higher, we have actually like a 70-75% chance. Again, these are my own calculations based on calculations and simulations I've done. But okay, I guess you can call me a spreadsheet trainer. But I have fun with it, so I would not advise other trainers to do the same. But yes, if you've seen more than a few trainers by now, you should have seen all the resources that are available for you as a trainer if you want to get more serious about winning your races. We'll skip this, by the way. If we lose this, I'm going to be so sad. Okay, good. But anywho, moving on. Yeah, so this is going to push us over to 300, possibly even 300 guts, but we don't need the guts. Essentially, any guts I have over about 250 are dead stats. And at this point, technically, the stamina I get from now on is also dead stamina, but it's part of the URA event scenario anyway, so we should do power instead here. If I don't hit this 90%, sadness. Okay, good. Hishiyama pulled us through. But anywho. So yeah, 1050-ish power, 1200 speed, we should absolutely defeat King Halo. Unless we get blocked, of course. And by that, I mean we get blocked long enough that we cannot beat King Halo. Because King Halo... So, oh, I didn't mention this. I guess I'll mention it again during the timestamp of the Legend Race itself. But, so King Halo has a very specific skill called On Your Left. What On Your Left does is acceleration. I think she has a second acceleration skill on top of that. So that's also the reason why that she may do a lot better or a lot worse, as some trainers may observe. And I think most trainers overlook this because, I mean, it's not visible unless you actually look at it yourself. So I think she has two. I feel like she has two. Let me check really quickly. Never mind. But other than that, she also has Russian Gale and Rising Dragon. Yeah, she has Russian Gale and Rising Dragon. But On Your Left, I think she has a normal skill that's acceleration. But On Your Left specifically is a rare acceleration skill. And if you listen to pretty much most trainers, especially veteran trainers and reputable trainers, acceleration skills are very, 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 very good. and King Halo has this, and she'll use it as she enters as she exits the final corner into the straight, I believe. But basically during the final spurt, which is already accelerating, which means she'll hit her max target speed faster. Now again, this is why when you run front runners like Sakurabakushi no, Silent Suzuka if you have the resources to do so, and to some extent, I think there's it's basically just Sakurabakushi no. But if you have a Maru Zensky as well, sure. But yeah, King Halo will accelerate, but if you have a front runner like Sakurabakushi no at even like 1100 speed, 900 power, you're just gonna stay in front. Although King Halo does have a higher max target speed, I think if you have like about 1020 power. I don't remember for sure. But essentially, if you're running 1200 speed Sakurabakushi no with 900 power, you're gonna beat King Halo because you don't have to worry about getting blocked, and you have enough power to not have King Halo catch up to you as quickly. But for everyone else who's using anyone but Sakurabakushi no, that's not a front runner most likely, yeah, On Your Left, the skill that King Halo has for this Legend Race is a big reason why she pulls forward. Or if it doesn't proc, reason why she doesn't accelerate as much. So you could just get lucky and she doesn't proc this 3 times in a row and you don't see anything and you're like, ha! Easy peasy Sakurabakushi no, even though it is easy peasy Sakurabakushi no. Like, I would advise, like, if you really just want to win once, which is all you need to do, just run Sakurabakushi no! But anywho, we're stuck, by the way. So unless we get out... Oh yeah, we're super stuck. Burst of speed right into Simbly Rudolph. And yeah, she has to pass again. Beeline burst. Oh my goodness gracious. Gold ship, why you have to troll so much? But anywho, yeah, so as we actually win the finals here. If we didn't have enough power, that would have been very, very bad. That, like, I can't stress enough. I don't think 100 power would have made the difference, but definitely a few hundred power makes the difference there. Again, once your Musume makes the decision to break out, the acceleration that you need to start overtaking and overtake quickly enough to basically do what Gold Chip did there is pretty high. But most of the time, most trainers should have the power for that anyway. Although this is kind of not hearsay, but my speculation based on the information that I trust. Shrug, that's the best. But otherwise, funny enough, now I have a Sprint Gold Chip if I need her, which will be great for the other 12 to 18 Legend races. So let's find out. Let's find out. Also, I think there's one other rare skill I have not taken yet. Otherwise, I'm just going to be taking a bunch of green skills. But I think we take Plan X here. Yeah, I think we take Plan X here. I should also take Coast is Clear, but yeah. Take Plan X because this is a Sprint race Gold Chip anyway. And do I just want to go 15%? It would be really funny, but it's not the biggest change. But if you get blocked, I feel like navigational as my voice breaks there, I feel like navigational skills are important. Otherwise, I should just take firm conditions. No, we'll go 15%. I call this 15% because this is 6 through 8, so that's 3 brackets out of 18, which is pretty much near enough 15%. Because if you're randomizing one bracket out of 18, I think that's near enough 15%. I'm going to calculate that just to be sure as we finish this run here. Watch me get a 3-star Aptitude here. I will be so mad and happy and sad and frustrated at myself for Gold Chip troll. Basically, Gold Chip trolled me this whole time until day 3. And let's see if she continues trolling me. So, I think this is one of the better... Oh my goodness. It's not a bad Gold Chip. Power Turf, and if you're going for Turf, sure, but... That's my best Gold Chip is a Sprint Gold Chip. Oh my goodness, I could put this in Team Trials to meme around. You know what? I actually will. Yeah, well, let's do this here. Oops, I accidentally broke my calculator because I divided by 0. But there's also a high fan count Gold Chip run, but that just goes along with doing the races I did along with URA Championship. But 1 divided by 18 is... Oh, I need to hit 3, that's right. Never mind, I lied. Oh, no, actually 3 out of 18, right? Or 1 out of 6, sorry. But, yeah, so 16.6666 repeating. I was hitting my leg because I still tell my leg. But, yeah, pretty much near 15%, so you're just trying to 15%. It's not the biggest speed increase, especially with only 1 level, but we have 1200 speed, we might as well take the extra. And as you're reaching this point, into Legend Races we go. So, everything previous was me finalizing my A Sprint Aptitude Gold Chip, which, yeah, I am just flipping a coin here instead. So, to show you the Gold Chip here, specifically, that's not the Gold Chip. Nope. No! I hit confirm! No! Slippery buttons! Well, I guess now I only have 2 Gold Chip. I'm not even gonna watch this, because I did this to myself. If we somehow win this, that would be the biggest troll. But we have like a 5% max chance of winning this. Heck, we're even at bad. I'll parfait just to go through the motions, but this is not good. Wow, this is a video. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I did this to myself. We got second, but that's to be expected. You should beat everyone else but King Halo. Yeah. So, yeah, I didn't mean to do that. Well, next. Yeah, I know she didn't have enough. Oh my goodness, I can't believe this. Well, again, if nothing else, even if I spaghetti the rest of these 2 races, or Gold Chip does, really, we should be going a thing. Oh my goodness, sadness. So this is the Gold Chip that we're using, and we only have 2 races because I accidentally spaghettied a click. So, I don't know why I'm showing you the inspiration, although that's important too. Hey, this is the Sprint A Aptitude Gold Chip that I'm using. We pretty much should have a 50% chance of winning. But otherwise, we'll see what happens. Because we could just get blocked, King Halo could just get blocked, King Halo could proc all of her skills, or she could not proc on your left, which is the most important thing to watch out for. But I'll mention it again as we get to the future timestamps. We're also going to parfait here because, yeah, that wouldn't be good. I can actually set it to rain if I want to have a bigger advantage against King Halo. Because, yeah, we should have more power. Basically, the more power you have, the better you'll do on a rainy day. On average. Again, if someone brings rain, green skills, then not as much. But still. Anyway, yeah, we'll talk about on your left when when the race gets started. Again, timestamps exist, but if I didn't already mention that, I mean, the beginning of the videos is really when I should mention that. But otherwise, off we go to an adventure. So, the strongest skill King Halo has, specifically, is the on your left skill. Why is that the strongest skill? Aside from the fact that she also has Rushing Gale and Rising Dragon, I think some other skills, and she stacks, I think, at least 2 navigational skills. I could be wrong about that. But on your left is an acceleration skill. That is a rare skill. So, it's a golden skill, if you want to use that phrase. But, yeah, it's an acceleration gold skill, which means that if she procs it, she'll accelerate and run a lot faster during the final parts of the race, which is where she uses it. But otherwise, as we enter the final leg here, yeah, Gold Chip should run forward and she should stay forward. King Halo will trail behind, but we outstat her. Big surprise. Again, I'm gonna say for probably the second to last time or last time, as we actually get blocked for a moment here. Actually, I think we are. Yeah, we're blocked. That makes me so sad. You can see King Halo and Gold Chip trying to break out, by the way. Kurin-chan. And then King Halo breaks out. But King Halo was closer to the outer there. Oh, we were just in the inside. Okay, Gold Chip. I also trolled Gold Chip myself again. I ended up wasting my first race picking the wrong Gold Chip here. Goodness gracious. But yeah, let's get into this one. So there we both got blocked. Total blocked. Because as you can see, King Halo has 955 power if I recall, and my Gold Chip has 1050, but again, we were just super blocked during that race, so... King Halo got to second because she broke out into the outer lane, which are usually the lanes in which you want to break out in. Sometimes you want to be on the inner lane, especially if you're running skills that we'll get later on as well, but skills that make you faster as you're near the railing, essentially, or inner lanes. But usually you want your Musume to be on the outer lanes if she's trying to break out. She can weave in between, but as you saw there was a literal line in front of Gold Chip and King Halo. So, and then King Halo finally broke out successfully, but she couldn't accelerate fast enough even with on your left if I saw her proc it. And you'll see it because you can see the skills procking during the race. If she didn't proc it, yeah, she definitely would have lost. But if she did proc it, even with that proc, she could not accelerate to her max speed fast enough to beat Kurin-chan. I'm shrugging in real life, that's all. But yeah, on your left is very powerful if you can get it for a late surger, sure. But at the current time of global server here, we are in a bad place for late surgers. That's not to say they can't win. You can a bunch of trainers could probably come up and show me, hey, look at this team trial, or look at this upcoming PvP mode. I ran a late surger, I'm fine. You're right. But they become a lot stronger later on, if nothing else. Also, did we proc Warning Shot last time? Not that it matters if we run right into someone. Actually, it does kind of matter, because the faster we get blocked, the faster we can get out of block. But it looks like we're blocked again. Hopefully she... Okay, that's where I want to see. There's Kurin-chan kind of in front of us, but unless King Halo really... Oh my goodness, yeah. So let's see what happens. This is going to be really close. Or it's not as close as I thought. Go home, Specialist. RIP! She did catch up. She didn't catch up fast enough. No, I used my third race. Nah. But it was 50-50 coin flip anyway. Again, I went through the... I looked at my thing, but... I did some contemplation on the side, but it was pretty much a 50-50 flip. So, RIP King Halo trophy. I think we can show at the end, too. I think you're just looking for... I think it specifically says King Halo here. And that's going to make me sad until it gets rerun. All the legend races will come back, but it's going to be a while before they do. So... And again, I did that to myself because I ended up using one of my 3 races on a not proper Gold Chip. Meanwhile, Tokai Teo, Silent Suzuka, and Old Goody Cap with 1 trophy, but otherwise, not really much to say here. Yeah, I'm not going to take up too much more of your time. So, if you have anything to say, you know what to do. Otherwise, this Gold Chip is going to be what you're seeing for the other legend races coming up pretty much tomorrow as well. So, yeah, without further ado, if you can reach the main screen here, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!